Okay, got my 3D glasses. These are the souvenir Harry Potter style glasses. Also, got them running. Got my magical wand. I'm all set to go see Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2 or HP 7.1, depending on where you're actually from. There you go. Stop. Turn off. Ah. Yeah, that was kind of cool. They gave a Harry Potter style 3D glasses. Now, like I said before, I've never read any of the books. Most of my friends who have read the books said this one's going to be ridiculously action-packed. And it is. It does have a very good epic feel to it. Because a lot of it, essentially, is almost like a magical siege on Hogwarts. My only issue with that is it's done at night. So everything is really, really dark. Their terracotta-style warriors, really get to see that much of them. And when you're watching a battle at night with people who become shadows and fly, you really can't get a real good sense of exactly what's going on. Except for good guys in castle, backing up to the castle, and just rocketing spells back and forth. It does have all that level of grandeur you'd actually want. You know, this actually does feel very, very much like, you know, the people defending themselves, just defending their lives and their way of life from an all-encompassing evil presence. This movie actually starts off right where Part 1 left off. In fact, when we're watching it in 3D, you really don't get opening credits. It began with the tomb opening, Voldemort taking out the Elder Wand, shooting up in the air, and that's when I went, oh, time to put the glasses on. And then you show the Warner Brothers logo, and then from that, Harry Potter, you know, and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2, and then you're right into the movie. 3D elements are actually pretty good. The dragon, done very well. You know, I actually like when they went to one of the vaults. You know, as they're on this crazy track like a gyroscopic train, my first thought was, man, you know what? That would be a wicked roller coaster. Because, you know, while the track itself is bending around, you're constantly staying straight in the center. Okay, really interesting. I actually thought it was actually pretty good. So from that moment, you have a really, really good, you know, dragon escape. Then you're having the trip to go back to Hogwarts. You have nice interactions when actually, you know, when Snape is first defeated and leaves Hogwarts. As Harry's trying to find the last remaining Horcruxes, he destroys a small vial, a diadem, and then the last two. So he destroys 4 in this movie. And of course, if you recall from the previous ones, there's 3 supreme magical items. There's the Resurrection Stone, a Cloak of Invisibility, and the Elder Wand. Voldemort has 1, Harry and Groot Company have the other 2. So you kind of figure out exactly how they're going to use which ones. So of course, by the time Voldemort and his forces actually do a pretty good job just decimating Hogwarts, they do have a break in the battle where he goes, you know, I want Potter to meet me here. By this time, quite a few main characters have died. That's one thing I can say. They don't spare the amount of people that kind of went, you, thinking you, and you. You are all going to die. And some people die in ways that are probably a little more on the gruesome side. I'm fairly certain if you're to be killed by a giant snake, probably a bad way to go as opposed to everyone else who tends to get like shot by magic and either A, burst into like a layer of smoke, or just kind of like an explosion and fall to the ground and die. Or get kind of turned into glass and then explode. That having been said, it's a satisfying conclusion to this decade worth of movies. I never saw the first 3. I've tried to, I just can't. I just can't watch those movies because they just seem really, really childish, and they should be because At that time, he was written as a character who was like 12. So of course, how was that final battle between Harry and Voldemort? It's actually solid. From the time when he's being chased through the remnants of Hogwarts while fighting off Voldemort to their very last final, you know, energy blast finale. It's a solid movie. It's got some humor in it, which is good given the overall heavy tone this movie has. There was people who, of course, clapped over Anybody Kissed. For when I first saw Harry Potter 4, my first thought was, I wonder when Hermione and Redhead, entirely drawing a blank, those are probably a pretty nice couple. And of course, when it's done and they do the resolution, then they jump forward 19 years to show essentially the survivors' children going to Hogwarts. So overall, I say it's a really satisfying end. Again, having never read the books, I'm pretty sure bits and pieces of it would seem a lot more epic had I read the books. So my only real complaints, this is a standard complaint with the Potter movies, it's normally hard to hear their dialogue. And again, if I read the books, I probably would have picked up on more nuances here and there. But sometimes the dialogue just is absolutely, it just sounds jumbled. So I really can't get exactly what they're saying. The context of what I'm not getting actually help fill in all the blanks. That, and of course, since the main battle happens at night, you really don't get to see anything. You can obviously tell where the bad guys are, but there's so much shadows and so much darkness. I know they don't need to carry torches, but if there had been some either more ambient light on Hogwarts to have made certain battle sequences, can you get a better look at the detail going on? Because when you see ogres on a bridge fighting with like terracotta warriors, I wanted to see a little more what was going on with that. And I know you gotta have to be at night because that's when it happened. That's when it happened in the books. Those were only really two complaints. That initial sequence when they're doing the main battle of Hogwarts is a little bit on the dark side. I would have liked a little bit. Even would have like a full moon for more illumination. I would have preferred a little more ambient light for that. And every now and then the dialogue is kind of hard to listen to. Beyond that, absolutely satisfying. Bizarre thing was when I left, I got to go to my car. And I always hate when you walk to your car and you have like random things there. So, sorry Joe, who, it says you're a psychic, so you must know I'm not going to go to your show. So I guess I have a flyer to recycle. So Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Definitely worth seeing in the theater. Definitely. I would probably see it in the 3D. This falls more into a matinee 3D, so that way you might not get people who are going to like scream and clap when things happen. That's like, two people are kissing. Yay! I prefer movies to be kind of, I want to hear what they're saying and enjoy it by myself. Not if people, like scream and cheer. And with that being said, it was a decade of very solid movies, grossed well over $1 billion, just great for something like that. And the weird thing is, next year there's going to be no more Harry Potter movies.